Hello, everybody. We are here with another episode of Emergence of Being. We're going to be talking about, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, empowering your life through Lucky Charms. And we're not talking about the cereal, though that is delicious.
It was not my favorite as a kid, and it's not good for you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, and the thing, as we start to talk about this, is that there's two ways to go about it. And there's some people who are in a place where you can really empower an item. But the biggest lucky charm is you, and using tools to change your mindset to kind of, like in the shamanic tradition, we have the saying where the hummingbird finds the nectar in any situation. And when you're going to start to find the nectar in any situation, you're able to start kind of spinning things in a way that no matter what shows up, it's kind of like the whole idea when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You make your own luck to some degree, but there's a lot of gradient in the middle between those two different areas.
You are your own lucky charm.
You are. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, totally. Now, can things enhance that? Of course, we've got all sorts of little. Probably we'll chat on a few of those things, right, Hank? Like
Yep.
crystals you can put in your pocket to help you, but ultimately, it's you. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I'm just
Spoiler alert.
fixing my Facebook audience here. And when it comes to crystals, because I'm not a big crystal person myself, but like one of the easiest ones, it's clear crystal quartz. So that's the one I wanted to start with. If you didn't know what to pick, clear quartz is good for so many things. It's a great item. And then you can do like a skull like this, where there's additional properties when it's a skull where you can maybe empower it, do a little ceremony of yourself, take a cigar with tobacco, don't inhale, and just blow, because it's a prayer plant, blow your intentions to empower it as a luck item. And the idea is when you're empowering an item, whether it's a crystal or a candle or an amulet or whatever the case is, you're doing it in a time when you can be in somewhat of an altered state as much as you can, and you're imbuing it. So then when you are out in the world and life blindsides you, that little stone in your pocket, it helps you bring back to that moment where you had your wits about you and get centered and be more receptive to the luck around you.
Yeah, there's so many, like what I like to do sometimes is post little sticky notes and putting them in your wallet. So you have a command statement or an intention, and it's just like one line. Like I have something in my wallet that I say, like, you too are now filled with the abundance of God, universe, whatever you want to write. So whenever you go to take out your money, you see that, you send that intention out, and you remind yourself of, wait, I'm not spending, I'm spending and I'm receiving and I'm getting. So it's receptivity and donation, and it's a circular thing of the energy of money. So those little things, like just blessing things, is enough of a lucky charm as well. So you can bless the people around you. You have the magic. You are the biggest lucky charm. Those other little things are little lucky charms. You are ultimately the big lucky charm. And sometimes I think people call it luck. It's not really luck, it's miracles and alignment, and it's what you truly are. It's
And
who
it's
you
like the law of
are.
attention, or the law of attraction, like in the book
Yeah,
The Secret and things like that. It's you disciplining yourself to hold that vibration of whatever it is you like to see more of in your life. And Dr. K talks about it all the time. The best way, or one of the best ways, to have more things come into your life that you like is be grateful for the things already showing up that you can be grateful for. And then it just kind of starts expanding upon that.
yeah. There's so many different things you could do. One of the biggest things that can return things to you is blessing other people, even when they are naughty and they're not so nice to you. Bless them anyway. I bless you with abundance, love, and luck. You are sending that blessing out.
Yeah. You know, Neil Donald Walsh, which most of you know is one of my favorite authors, he says that whatever you want to create in your life, if you cause another to have it, it helps you manifest it because you're acknowledging that you have it to give to them. So in a way, with what Dr. K just said, I bless you, I love you, good luck. It you must have that if you're bestowing it upon someone. And it's kind of a way to work around the logical mind in order to help you receive the very thing that you're allowing someone else to have.
Exactly. So, what other lucky charms do we have? Mic up, we're done. It's just you. You're the lucky charm.
Wait, that's all you got, Dr. K? No. Well, we can talk about anything. We knew St. Patrick's Day was coming up, and so a big part of this was we thought it would be great to do that. But with the ceremonial thing, if you're not in a place where you can be in that mindset all the time, then really pick an item, maybe an ancestor piece, something from someone that you loved, a uncle or grandpa, a watch, or uh, anything of theirs, a necklace or something like that, and sit with it in meditation. You can even light a candle. You can inscribe the best candles for this too. Let me grab one. At least I think I have one. Yeah. I love these, like these little, what do they call them? Jabos candles. But they're little candles like this, and then you can take like a little toothpick or a little knife, and you can carve your intentions like luck. Life comes to me with one of the Access mantras. Life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. You could like write something on there, and when you're writing, it's all part a physical representation of your intention. And so the more little things you do, you light some incense, you get some aromatherapy going, maybe rattle a little bit to clear the space. You're doing all these things to get your logical mind out of the way and allow the miracle to happen. And when you have an item that is in that morphic field that you're creating and you take it with you wherever you're going, you're just having that little piece of that ceremony where you're really in a receiving mode for luck. And let's not forget about your guides, angels, teachers, like being able to say, hey guys, I'm willing to receive from you. How much more could you be receiving if you're including the universe and delivering it instead of just thinking you're completely on your own?
Yeah, at the end of the day, all of these lucky charms are doing one thing. They are raising your vibration. So it's not that thing itself that is creating everything for you. It is you are putting it into your energy, which ignites your energy more to make you the bigger, the better, the brighter lucky charm.
Yeah, we do have a question, and Facebook, if you can tell us your name, because there's a link you can click where we could actually see who you are, but it just says you're the mysterious Facebook user right now. But it says, can you talk about the continuity of luck?
Continuity.
I knew that word, really, of luck, charms, and prayers. I have heard some call Lucky Charms superstitious and thus not something worth doing. I should be praying for whatever rather than relying on superstition.
Hmm.
So did you want to go with something first, or shall I? Oh, it's Judy. Aha,
Ooh.
thank you for answering my question.
I think, Judy, that relates back to the same thing. Any prayer, any lucky charm, in and of itself is not creating something for you or manifesting something for you. It is enhancing your field so that you can pull it in. Prayer does the same thing. You are sending a vibration out that enhances you and the other person. So, do things have vibrations of their own? Yes, but when you pull it into your field, you get bigger and brighter, and therefore then you can bring in what you desire. So, in way of superstition, I don't really know how to answer that. I wouldn't even use the word superstition because it's all what intention you put on something, right?
Right.
If you think
Well, the
this
thing
is
with
going to help me,
superstition, let's take a horseshoe, for example. People say a horseshoe is lucky, and you could say it's superstitious, or you could say that it actually is lucky. Your belief creates your reality.
correct,
And so if you choose to pick something that that's known for luck, you are essentially like writing the morphic field of that collective consciousness. And
correct.
likewise, if you don't believe it's going to bring you luck, you're writing the morphic field of all the people who don't believe it's luck. So it's not always black and white, it's a gradient, but point of view does create your reality. And also letting go of the expectations along with everything. Like a lot of times with prayers, for example, we might have a certain expectation that a prayer is answered in a certain way. And if it doesn't happen, then all of a sudden it didn't work. But our own expectation is doing what, Dr. K? Squeezing the
Sponge.
yeah. And so like the expectation around something, that's totally Dr. K's saying, by the way. I'm just like totally stealing it right now. She always talks about squeezing the sponge. It's a great concept. But when you have an expectation of anything, it's like you're picking the physical thing for to help you stay in the space, but you let go of the expectation of how that luck shows up, how that prayer shows up, how that intention actually shows up. And that's the difference between manifestation, which is how something shows up, and actualization, that it shows up. So some of the greatest prayers are kind of like just intentions of preference and then letting go of how it shows up.
Yeah, totally. It's all about belief. If, like just Hank said, it's perfectly stated. If you believe a horseshoe or that a black cat walked across your path, if you believe that that is going to bring you good luck or bad luck, that is the energy that you will pull in that direction. In and of itself, yeah, there are all these things. Like if you find a penny and it's, facing up, then pick it up. If it's not, then flip it, put it down, let somebody else find it. That's all just creating an energy in and of itself. That penny in and of itself is not that powerful. You are way more powerful to say, oh, I found it on its head up. I'm going to pick it up. Maybe the angels sent me a sign and I'm going to run with it on this physical plane. I'm going to take that as a sign and I'm going to believe that somebody's looking out for me. So it creates the intention within you. If you're like, I have no idea what this means, I'm just going to leave a penny, then it's not going to do anything. So it has a lot, way more to do, I think, with a person's belief in something,
Right.
than the superstition of the item itself.
And life, the universe, God deals us a lot of different circumstances. And one of my favorite passages in Conversations with God, when it talks about daily meditation, it says, all life is a meditation, and you can use all the events in it, and you can label all those events as perfection. You could also all label them as bad luck or good luck. So the raw data when a cat runs across the street is a cat went across the street. Our labeling of that in a way starts to set the intention out to the universe. Oh no, that's bad luck. All the universe hears is bad luck. And now more things happen. We start labeling it and then we start spiraling. And it takes some bigger event to like kind of pull us out and things like that. So it's really keeping the mind in a good space is really crucial and vital.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because I will look things up periodically, like, oh, you found this. And, then you'll have Dr. Google, of course, will tell you everything. So it tells you, like, if you see a black crow, then it means this. So it's funny. Like I had these crows that like a slew of crows that showed up on my front lawn the one day. I'm like, this is really interesting. This has never happened in my life. Is this a sign? So I looked up black crows and it's like, it's supposed to be this good luck and new things are coming. And then I scroll down and it's like, oh, if you see crows, it's bad luck. So these superstitions are created by who?
By culture. And like something could be good luck in Germany and bad luck here, or vice versa. And it's but there is also something to be said for there is like a morphic field that is created. And so like it's kind of like you can ride the waves of creation to serve to your destination. And
Yeah.
when there are these collective beliefs and things like that, you could utilize those intentionally to create more luck for yourself. But then there's something very important that you have to do when you do this. And it's a little saying called just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone. Because if I say, Dr. K, I heard it's good luck if you have like 13 cats in your house all the time. And so I got 13 cats because it's going to be real lucky and all my whole life is going to change. And Dr. Kelly says, well, that's a bunch of crap. That's not true. I just totally invited someone to disempower my efforts to create luck. And so there's a little bit of sharing your aspirations and your intentions and your creations with the people who are going to be a contribution to it and not take away from it.
Exactly. It comes down to what you choose or want to believe about it. I took that first little tab and I read about it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to choose to believe something really good is coming, versus the other one. So, I mean, I think there's probably a little bit of a gray zone because universe, angels, teachers, helpers, guides are guiding us. And sometimes they will put something like that in our path so that we pay attention. But at the end of the day, is it going to empower you or disempower you? That's, I think, what it comes down to. So I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is 100 like the great sage, the water boy said. Mama said, like, is what you make it. And maybe it's life is what you make it. Life is what you make it, I think is what the quote is. And it's like really how are you going to look through the lenses? Are you going to look through rose-colored glasses and have that positive tinge? But you also don't want to like be looking through so many positive quote unquote filters that you're over empowering the raw data that shows up, because there's like the raw data of something and then there's our ability to spin it one way or the other, and you can go too far in either direction. So there's, like you said, it's more of a gradient than a polarity, and it was
Yeah,
life.
I think, like some people, I think we need to just point out that you want to be in a state of awareness and groundedness, because if we're just floating around all the time going, oh, life is great and nothing bad happens, there is contrast, and it's not even bad or good, it's cause and effect.
Yeah.
But that there is different things in life, and things do happen and stressors do happen. It's how do you navigate it? How do you navigate these things? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
living in the ethers of somewhere out there that everything is just perfect is probably not idealistic, because we are given contrasts. The soul comes in to experience certain things on
Yeah.
this planet, right? So it uses the body as a vehicle, and sometimes the things it wants to experience are not so pretty. So we have the contrast. Yeah.
Perfection can only be perfection if unperfection also exists. Or to say it in the way Neil Donald Walsh says it in the books, in the absence of that which you are not, that which you are is not. And when you do have negativity show up, negativity, say, wow, thank you, God, thank you, universe, thank you, spirit, whatever vocabulary you want to use. Thank you for this amazing contrast, because now I get to experience the opposite of that. So if you experience poverty, and this happens because we live in a duality, and if you're creating from a duality level, you might say, I want to meet Mr. and Mrs. Right, right? And then the person you marry is like completely the wrong person for you. And then, but now when you do meet Mr. and Mrs. Right, now you'll get to know what that is like, because you had the opposite experience. So you got to, there's a lot of moving parts with the way things manifest and actualize.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we didn't know contrast, how boring would life be? I think the issue becomes is the brain doesn't like discomfort. When we go through discomfort, we often don't know how to back up and watch it like through a window. It's uncomfortable. We're human and we
Yeah.
don't like discomfort.
And
So,
it prompts growth. It doesn't say necessity is the mother of all invention, or there's some saying like that. If you were comfortable all the time, you never had to leave your house, you didn't have to go to work, you didn't even have to talk to friends, you were just like, I'm cool. Like you would do nothing potentially. But that contrast creates the drive for I'm seeking, searching to elevate myself. And it's an onward going thing. So like once you get to one plateau, there's another little thing to climb, where there's something different to experience. So it's the only one of Neil's other books is When Everything Changes, Change Everything. And essentially the idea is the only thing that never changes is that everything changes. So get used to it. It's a
change
wild
is a
ride.
constant. I a mentor always told me, like, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's not fun. It just it isn't. We like certainty. The brain likes certainty. It likes comfort. It likes knowing where you're going. But then there's no you it's difficult then to appreciate the good when it comes, because if everything's status quo and comfortable every day, what drives you to become bigger, better, stronger? The soul always wants to expand. So that's why we look for all of these things to make us feel better, right? You find that penny, you find the dollar. Oh, this means something. The cat crosses your road. Oh, is that good luck or bad luck? Then what happens? You're like, oh, something good's gonna happen. Or, oh man, that's bad luck. Something bad's gonna happen. So what the soul's trying to expand and feel something. So if everything was just always flatline, and you ate the same thing every day, and you drank the same thing every day, and you felt good every day, you'd probably get bored.
Yeah.
I
Or
think.
Neil explains it in the way of like, if everything in the entire world was 7 feet tall, there would be no way of knowing it was 7 feet tall, because there's nothing other than that. And because there's no contrast, or that's why we have the whole duality, the polarities of what we perceive as positive and negative. And oftentimes when you look at those two poles, it's really the same energy on the gradient. Love and hate, same thing on a gradient. One is just expressed distorted and non-distorted, if you want to look at it that way.
Absolutely. So the trick to life, and this is just the mic drop. If you can
Ooh,
become the observer, if you become the witnesser, meaning if you can just watch things go by and not dive into the problem and get all uncomfortable and worried and anxious, which we all do. I mean, it's part of our kind of human makeup, #human. If you can do less of that in life, you will master life. And very few people can do that.
Hmm.
But the more you can do that, the more you can say, oh, that was uncomfortable, but thank you, because now I can appreciate, now I know what it's like to be comfortable.
Right.
And you have the contrast, and nothing lasts forever, guys. If you're in a challenging spot and you're looking for the lucky charms, if you're looking for the little pennies to show up, I'm going to go buy a crystal to help me manifest, and sure. However, know that it's not going to last. Things are going to get better. Whatever you can do to move yourself out of that situation, say, thank you for this situation. Thank you for the contrast. And most people don't. We dive in, we say, oh my God, life is so bad. Things suck so bad right now. I know it's not comfy, but that means something on the other flip side, the polarity of it's going to happen. It's going to flip at some point in time. The storm does not last forever, right? When there's a thunderstorm, it doesn't last forever and ever and ever and ever. At one point in time, it has to stop and the sun has to come out.
Some people who like misery chase the storm, though.
True. Don't chase the storm.
But eventually it still runs out.
Yeah. So know that things will flip. So keep doing whatever you can to say thank you, be the observer, move beyond that, get your lucky charms, get your little crystals, whatever can move you in a different direction.
And notice if maybe in your life, in one area, you are very lucky. Like some people are really lucky with love. Some people are really good with money. Some people are really good with family or career or different things. So if you find yourself struggling in one area, you could ask a question like, what would it take and what beings of light could help me to shift my experience around this to be more like this? What would I have to let go of in order to experience this more like this? So if you're good with love, to experience my success in love, I want to experience the same level of success in abundance and money and that type of thing. So you can use questions like that to start inviting change and things. But a big part is just choosing to do something about it. Like Dr. K said, if you drive to the store to get a crystal, right there, you set the intention to the universe you want change. And not only do you want change, you're driving to a store, you're giving money, you're getting a crystal, you're hanging on to it, you're making that crystal part of your routine. So right there, there's a whole bunch of mental energy all around the idea of changing something for the better or to be more lucky. And just the action, the alignment of thought, word, and deed, that brings us into congruency. And the other part of that, you might have thought, word, and deed, but then also make sure it's aligned with the soul. Because maybe your ego really wants something, but the soul's going, no, 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 no. You don't want a hot, dark heart stand. You're supposed to open a soup kitchen. So you might have the idea that I want to do one thing, but like what octave could you express that in? And then go for the highest octave you're capable of. Because there's a lot of different ways to express the same energy, and there could be viewed at different levels of grandeur, if you will.
Think of your lucky charms. This came through to say, think of your lucky charms as your little helpers.
Like I have my little helper.
Yeah. Oh
little Bashar.
Bashar.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I follow a channel. Oh, wrong camera. This is they actually have it drilled out, and it creates a resonance chamber, and it's a skull designed to help with channeling. So it's like my favorite little mascot.
Oh, we're going to dive into a whole other subject, but if you're getting crystals, I'm not going to talk about that here, but make sure you're cleaning them. They hang on to energy. Quartz hangs on to energy. So quartz hangs on to a lot of energy. So make sure you're cleaning them like weekly if you have a lot going on, because you work in a hospital, you're carrying that around with you. It's pulling in everything. So make sure you're cleaning those regularly and not letting them sit. I know people that just let their crystals sit for weeks and days and years without cleaning them. And I'm like, ew.
And funny story, I won't say who, because it is, I don't know, it might be embarrassing for them if they got called out. But I know somebody that would want to charge the crystals in the sun, and they put down a piece of quartz in their yard and like a little towel, and the sun hit the quartz and it acted as a magnifying glass and set the towel on fire. So if you are going to do things outside, like using the sun to charge crystals or to clear, sun it's more for charging, and some people like moonlight and stuff like that. Make sure you're doing it in a way that's not going to ignite anything. And a great way to cleanse crystals is like selenite. Selenite is a cleanser. You could put crystals on selenite. They even have little dishes and things like that for selenite. And citrine also doesn't need to be cleared, so you could use citrine, those two, or you could use sage. If it has a lot of heaviness, I actually have some crystals buried in my backyard right now that are chilling because they had some weird stuff going on, and I know right where they're at, but they're not done yet. The earth is working on them.
Back to the earth.
So you kind of ask the question, like, based on what I'm feeling, like what kind of clearing method would be the best. And you can even use Reiki or a crystal tuner, like a tuning fork. There's a lot of different ways for clearing, and you could do those same things for yourself because you if you have negative energy, you could take a selenite wand and wave it over yourself and use that to clear your field. So all these tools we're talking about for crystals, you could turn that back and say you could do, well, don't bury yourself in the earth, but but you could do a lot of the same type of things to clear yourself: smudging, saging, selenite, salt bath, that type of thing.
Yes. And if you live in Florida, California, or near an
Ooh,
ocean, God
I'm
bless you.
jealous.
Great. Go dunk yourself. That will solve all your problems. You wonder why those people are happier. They get sunshine and they are near salt. That's
Well,
why.
and in Germany, at a lot of the hospitals and rehab centers, like the one place where Anya's aunt was, there was an outdoor saltwater fountain, and they would take the patients on walks around this fountain, and like just
Yeah.
getting the air that has that little bit of salt moisture, it was really healing for people. So even like medical communities in other countries, they're on board with some of the things that we're talking about. It's not all woo woo.
The science is catching up. It is catching up
Not fast enough.
slowly, but it's catching up. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So
Any
any
other Oh, go ahead.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we last week we were just excited to talk, so we went a lot longer than we had anticipated. We're trying to keep these between 20 and 30 minutes or so, just to keep them a little bit more watchable for the replayers and stuff like that. But let us know if you have any questions. And if you want to look at any back episodes, we have all of them on the Emergence of Being and the Sonic Shaman YouTube channel. And it's also available on as a podcast on Apple, what is it called? iTunes, right? iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Emergence of Being podcast is available in all those places if you prefer just to listen to us. The episodes go up the day after we air live. So this will go on the podcast tomorrow morning around, I think, 6 o'clock, or I forget, but it will be up there tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but absolutely, like, clean the crystals. I'm hearing to say that, because if you've got health issues, I mean, I'm not the absolute pro at crystals. However, I have a little bit of knowledge of.
Is Dr. K frozen or am I
You're
frozen?
better off a lot of times wearing them on your wrist than on your neck. Oh, so one of us froze. But
I don't know
anyway,
who.
I think.
You guys can tell us who froze. I'm curious.
But yeah, wearing things around your wrist, helpful, and clean them, because they absorb energy. And if you're not cleaning things that you're wearing, it could potentially, change the frequency of an organ system, just like sound therapy. They use all these things, to heal people, because it's a little helper. So it has its own little being, so to speak, and its own little frequency. So if it's collected too much junk and you're wearing it on your heart chakra a lot, or on, near your solar plexus, then that energy can kind of work its way in if it's a little muddy. So just make sure that you're taking care of those things and cleaning them. And like we mentioned, like, if you're getting things from past family members, like, oh, grandma died and here's her garnet ring, that's a crystal. And if she had a lot of physical ailments, or she was a very angry person, I would clean that object before you wear it,
Well,
so that
and
you don't take on that frequency.
that could be a whole separate topic we could talk about, is ancestral healing, because I have some items from my grandpa, and he had a very interesting profession and past, and I had to do a lot of work. I mean, it was really good to have these items, and I did a lot of work on doing cleansing and ancestral healing, and I work an ancestor altar almost every week. So if you have old items like that, it's not just about the energy. You might be able to use that to do healing through your family lineage, and it will help to fast track whatever it is that you're working on. We put that on the parking lot if you want.
Yeah, I guess getting into that really quick, because we probably have just a couple minutes, but like, I think of the antique stores,
Ooh.
they carry a lot of stuff. And sometimes, now we're getting into ghosts. That's probably a Marianne, whatever, Wachowski
Marianne
conversation.
Wachowski. Well, she's airs tomorrow. If you have questions about ghosts, Marianne and Melissa do a stream on 10 o'clock every Wednesday. Or was it today? No, I think it's Wednesdays, 10 o'clock. You can tune into the Goddess Elite YouTube. And it's also going to air to the Emergence of Being Center page. So it goes to a couple different locations. And if you do need crystals, goddesselite.com, or if you're local, go to the store in North Olmsted. Huge store with a ton of selection.
You need.
Everything you need and a lot of things you don't need. But you buy them anyway, like I do.
Yeah, and if you buy it, clean it
Hi,
Mike, when you bring it home, because don't forget, somebody could have picked that crystal up and played with it, and if they had a that energy, that crystal will pull all that. That's the little helper. That's its job, is to kind of help clean out whatever type of crystal that is. So just clean it up a little bit, put in some salt water, put it, in the moonlight, and then use it. That's what I do.
It sounds like a plan. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. I don't know what the topic is. Well, not next week. We're doing this every other week, but I might be on next week just streaming on my own with some crazy topic. And I will also be on Thursday at Goddess Elite at 11. I'm going to be doing tarot readings online. So if you want to catch some tarot readings, tune into that broadcast on Thursday. And that will be on my personal profile and the Sonic Shaman YouTube. You can catch it either place. All right. Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.